SpellCast!
The Gaming Wizards podcast.
We haven't done this since forever.
Yeah, it's only been like 3 months according to YouTube. But it's only been about a month since we last recorded any actual game footage, and hopefully that's been apparent before now.
Yeah, well. And hopefully we'll get back to weekly recording.
Regular weekly recordings.
Your schedules have been kind of nuts.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's like, oh, this week you have these 2 days off. This week you have those 2 days off. It's like, can I get consistency back, please? But I think it's finally like going back to normal now.
That's good.
So, yeah. Hopefully this will be more regular.
Things have still been pretty consistent for me.
Well, that's good. At least.
So
it's all entirely my fault.
Yes, it's all your fault. You should feel bad.
After everything I've been doing in the meantime. It's not like I've been editing videos for you or anything. I haven't just been sitting on my ass doing nothing the whole time.
I do rather appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I feel like the videos are much more interesting because, yeah.
To be perfectly honest, I've barely done anything with them for the most part.
I mean, you kind of, like, jump around a little, like, through the footage.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I tend to just, like, put the footage.
Oh, it's like one on top of the other. It's like, okay, I'm talking about a game, and then there's footage in the background. Yeah. Because usually what I'll do is just kind of listen to it and watch the footage as it goes, and then when you're talking about something that I know that there's footage of, I'll find that and cut to it while you're talking about it. And that's pretty much the most work that's actually involved in it. Yeah. And now that you're doing the video of the unboxing, I don't have to do anything for that other than sync up the audio, which is actually surprisingly easy because your phone captures the audio and then you have the mic audio, and I can line them up exactly.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even sound like there's any overlay. It's just your voice slightly louder than it should be. So I just cut the phone audio, and it's like, hey, there's good audio.
Very nice.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I managed to do that the first time. I was like, oh, so we don't even need to sync for that. That's cool.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the quality on that has been improving with, now I got the tripod.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. Trying to set that up was weird, though. I was like, how can I set this up to where, it's not too far away, but I can still have, a good wide view?
From what I saw, the latest one looked good. I haven't finished editing that one yet, but
yeah,
I saw the unboxing footage, and it looks good.
Yeah,
definitely an improvement over trying to hold your phone and the box of stuff at the same time.
Man, it was the first one I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing.
I know, I get it.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I did kind of like how the first one turned out, where you just had the pictures.
Yeah,
I feel like if you had better quality pictures,
and that
you could keep doing it like that.
I actually wanted to try one more with just the pictures. Mm-hmm. Because, the big thing with the pictures was, trying to hold my phone still while taking the picture. Some of them ended up blurry, and some of them there was a really bad glare on. That was more just, the setup of the room than anything. But, now that I have the tripod, I don't have to worry about holding the camera steady.
Yeah, you can set it on.
I can just set it on there, tap it and let it take its pictures,
Yeah, I did.
So I might try that again.
It was kind of more fun than the others, just editing that one, because I was cutting to the game footage, in between, when you were talking about stuff that I had pictures for. So it was every once in a while it would just cut back to the game footage, and then suddenly, oh, here's a picture of the thing. And then there was also the game music just being background noise, which I think works pretty well for that, but I don't think cutting it in while you're where you have the unboxing video, it wouldn't work as well for that.
Yeah, I could always send you tracks from the soundtrack.
I was thinking actually about asking you for
idea.
A couple of those, because I already had the Axiom Verge because you gave me the copy of it with the soundtrack and all that. And
I let you borrow that.
I thought about maybe just putting in like a couple of tracks just to use as background noise, but the game footage already worked for that, so I didn't need to.
I might end up doing that with Nuclear Throne, trying the pictures again. Like, the thing I like about the unboxing is, like, it's more active, but I like the pictures, like, both because you can, like, cut between, like, what items there are and game footage, and also it goes quicker.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty much whether you want the video with you being more active or being more active with the editing, because that, I think it came out nicer. If it weren't for the quality of the pictures, I would recommend doing that more, but yeah,
I'll definitely try that again.
It's still a very experimental stage, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and the other thing is I just have to record a little more like gameplay when you do that, but that's not really an issue because I'm trying to record a little more anyway. Armello, I was like pretty much given no choice but to record for an hour. Like, it took me an hour to get through all the tutorials.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's all I played during recording was tutorial. Fun game. Like, I enjoyed it. And I actually didn't mind it. Like, I liked the way they did the tutorial. Like, the way it's structured. The way it's structured is really nice, because it's kind of like going through a game, and it's kind of giving you, like, the backstory of the game. Because it's a virtual board game. So, like, you know...
Yeah, I've seen something about it before, like...
But yeah.
I don't remember... There was something you showed me that was like that. I don't know if it was Armello or something with a similar concept, but it was definitely familiar when I looked up Armello because somebody else was talking about it somewhere, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. And
the only thing I can think of that I might have showed you that was like a virtual board game would be Chaos Reborn.
That might have been it.
Where it's like the wizard duels.
Yeah, I think that was it.
That game is so fun, by the way. I'm so glad I bought that, even though the computer kind of cheats.
Oh,
computer's an asshole.
Computer's always an asshole. You want to talk about the computer being an asshole, we need to play Sonic Shuffle.
Fair. Well, so like, in Chaos Reborn, there's two ways you can cast a spell. So you can, like, when you're summoning something, you can summon a real one, which will have, like, a percentage chance based. So there's, like, a chaos and a, like, law system. So whenever you cast a law spell, like, the balance of the field shifts more towards law. So those spells have a higher chance of success. Oh. Whenever you cast a chaos spell, those spells have a higher chance of success. And so there's like a percentage chance every time you try to summon something. But you can summon something as an illusion, and it'll have a 100% chance of spawning if you spawn it as an illusion. When you spawn something as an illusion, though, like, your opponent doesn't know it's an illusion, but they can try to guess that it's one. They have a Dispel spell. So if they use a Dispel on something that's real, it does nothing and they lose their turn. If they use their Dispel on an illusion, it gets rid of the illusion and they can still cast their spell for the turn. Like, it doesn't take up their SpellCast. Every single time you summon something as an illusion against the computer, the next turn it instantly dispels it.
God, that's just bullshit.
Oh, it pisses me off.
Like, there are some things that games that you just can't play against the computer because it relies on it not knowing,
and it knows,
and it always knows. So you have to program it to pretend it doesn't know. Mm-hmm. So it's like you might as well just roll a die anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're playing against a person, it's like, okay, I know he probably suspects I'm doing this thing, so if I do this thing instead, it'll catch him off guard. But he might know that I'm doing that, so it's still risky.
My general thing is to, like, find stuff that has, like, the easier, like, weaker enemies, and I cast a bunch of those just to build it, like, in my favor. That way, when I try to cast something big, like a Hydra, it has a success without needing to cast an illusion. But when I am playing against other players, I will sometimes, like, I'll cast an illusion on something that has a decent chance, so, like, you know, they never know, but it's funny the number of times where, like, I'll just cast something, like, hard cast it, and you can dump mana into your spells. So like, there's whenever you kill an enemy, or there's like spouts that you can walk on that'll give you mana. It'll you can either use that mana to get like your super spell if you get enough of it, or you can use it to increase the chance of summoning something successfully. Usually it's like capped, like you can only increase it by like 20% or something. But so what I'll do is I'll like quietly build up a bunch of mana. You can also burn cards just to turn them directly into mana.
Oh.
So I'll just build up a bunch of mana and I'll cast something really big really early by using mana to like increase the chance on it.
But they think it's an illusion because it's like
they'll waste a turn trying to dispel it.
There's no way that could be real. Get rid of it. Oh shit, it's real.
Yeah, they waste a turn trying to dispel it, and then the next turn they have a fucking dragon on top of them.
Oh wow!
It's such a cool game because like there is that like there's a decent level of strategy playing against other players. Against the computer, it's just kind of like summon a bunch of weak stuff and hope they don't overpower you.
Yeah.
Because, computer cheats just a little bit.
Just a little bit, huh?
But yeah.
Oh, boy. Fucking computers.
Yeah. There's a lot of games I have like that, though, where it's like, it's really fun to play against someone else or with someone else. Like, you did my Assault Android Cactus video. I really want to play that like with a group of people. Because
looks like it would be fun.
It's interesting. I like it. And the boss fights are fucking brutal.
I only saw the one that I recall in your footage.
There should be one more probably near the end of the footage. Like, I tried the second boss, and it just completely wrecked me. I was like, well, okay, moving on. I guess I'll do the regular stages again.
There's a reason they're in the order they're in.
Yeah.
It's like fucking playing Chrono Trigger and going straight to Lavos. It's like, yeah, you can.
Every chance I can.
Yeah, you can, but it's not.
I don't recommend it.
It's not going to work out well for you.
Yeah, I want to play through Chrono Trigger again. Like, I keep starting new files. Like, I'll start a new file, and then, like, I'll play for a bit, or, like, I'll grind for a bit, and then I'll just, like, get distracted and do something else, because I'm trying to play the DS one, because, you know, it has, like, extra stuff in it.
Yeah.
But it's a handheld game, and I can't focus on those.
Yeah. See, that's like me with every RPG ever. Like, I'll start it, play it, and then it's like, oh, hey, look, another thing.
Yeah.
But I have, like, the opposite deal, where I focus better on it if it's on a handheld. Like, I get more done.
Yeah.
But just less at a time. Like, I started playing Hyperdimension Neptunia.
Oh, nice.
Because I got it on Steam. It was, like, on sale for, like, all the DLC and stuff.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I just kind of stopped.
I still haven't finished Undertale. I'm, like, maybe 2 or 3 hours in.
It's not a very long game.
I know it's not a long game, but
I would say you're probably a little more than halfway.
Yeah, that's the general consensus I get. But yeah, I haven't gone back to it.
How are you playing it? Like,
pacifist.
Oh, okay. So you were aware of that?
Yeah.
Like, beforehand. Yeah, genocide's a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
like,
so I've heard.
Yeah.
You have to just keep grinding
like,
in an area until nothing spawns.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
But, like, okay, there's 2 bosses, I think, that are actually difficult at all. Because everything else, you just one-shot everything.
Yeah.
Because you're getting so powerful and being so evil. It's like, yeah, just die, shank, 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 everything dies. And then you get to the first real boss, and yeah, that's why I had to stop my genocide run, because I could not beat the first real boss that you run into.
I hear like the final boss fight of the genocide run is considered like one of the hardest boss fights like ever made.
Probably of all time, yeah. Like it's
pretty impressive.
I watched the Steam Train like stream because they streamed it because it was like such a big deal, and yeah, I would not be able to do that. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even by... Like, most of the regular fights, it's like bullet hell kind of rules.
Yeah.
And, like, that kind of style. The kind of bullshit the final boss pulls off would be bullshit in a bullet hell focused game. That's the kind of bullshit it is.
I've seen a little bit of it because like music and stuff that has like footage in the background, like Smooth McGroove and such.
Yeah.
So like I've seen a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, it's it makes me not feel so bad that I didn't beat the other boss to get that far. It's like, yeah, I could spend like hours and hours and hours finally nailing the timing on this one, only to end up stopped by this one.
Yeah.
Like, not worth it. I'll watch somebody else play it. No, not even bragging rights.
The bragging rights of being able to say that you beat it.
As far as I'm concerned, Pacifist is beating it. Going to Genocide is just like New Game Plus without the plus, because it's like you didn't gain any levels going through it in Pacifist, so there's nothing to like carry over.
Yeah.
And the game even like pretty much calls you out on, it's like, oh, you beat the game already. Everybody got their happy ending. What are you doing still playing? Oh, you're gonna try killing everyone now, aren't you? What an asshole! It actually like calls you out on some of the bullshit. It's like, but I've basically only played half the game.
Yeah,
I have to do both.
That is one thing that I do appreciate about the game, is that it is like aware. Like, if you start a file and like you play through and you kill like Toriel,
mm-hmm.
and then
restart,
it calls you out on restarting.
It's like, oh, you. And like even when you're fighting her, there's like one part where it's like you think about telling her you saw her die. It's like, whoa, that's fucked up. Yeah, because I was watching another Let's Play and they accidentally killed her, and like the game crashed, so they got like a second chance to redo that, but it still remembered that they killed her.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but kind of creepy at the same time. That's neat that it does that.
Yeah, and I guess from my understanding is like if you do the full Genocide run and then you like go through on like a Pacifist run again,
it changes
like,
the ending.
It changes the whole game. Everyone remembers that you've killed them.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I knew like it changes like the ending.
Yeah,
I didn't.
That's what I've heard, is that like everyone acknowledges that you had killed them before.
Wow.
Yeah, someone was telling me that.
There's like so much like crazy. There's like some secret stuff that you can only access by like deliberately like saving and reloading.
Yeah.
Like, somebody's got a faucet running. Yeah. There's like a secret room that you get into. I forget where it is, but if you like save, reload, talk to a character, and then keep doing that a certain number of times, he'll remember that you're doing it. And it's like some like weird time manipulation thing that's going on, and he's actually studying it. And you get to like go into a secret room that's his lab, I guess. I forget like what the exact thing is, but yeah, I didn't bother with that because I forgot to. But
yeah, there's little stuff like that in the game that like I appreciate, and I think it's smart for. But
also the music is good.
Fucking great,
awesome.
Yeah, my coworker, he put together a like playlist of like his favorite remixes that is very often played in the shop.
God, I don't think I've even listened to many. There's like one remix that I know of that I've listened to more than once, but everything else I've just been listening to the actual soundtrack of the game.
Yeah, it's a good soundtrack, so don't blame you.
Yeah,
but yeah. I do want to get back to it and, like, finish it. And then, like, I kind of want to... Like, after going through the game, I want to see how I, like, overall feel about it. And then, like, do a in-depth video on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like...
It is one of those games where everybody got into it at, like, the same time.
Yeah.
And it was just like... Oh, so-and-so's playing it, so-and-so's playing it, they're playing it, here's a review, all the fan art ever.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone's just like, it's so good, play it, it's so good, it's a good game, and it's like, okay.
See, I remember when it came out, and, like, I kind of looked into it, and I was like, it looks okay, and, like, I watched played like a little bit of it because friend picked it up and like he was playing at a LAN or something, and I was like, okay, like it's interesting and I appreciate like the ways it's changing things up, but it's whatever. But then like it got so much praise heaped on it, and I'm just like, it's good and all, but like, does it really deserve that much praise? And like that's why I want to play through the game in its entirety and give it like a full like in-depth look.
When it came out, I think I saw it like on the front page of Steam, and I'm like, what is this? It looks interesting. I just opened up the page and kind of looked at the screenshots and the video, and I'm like, okay, it's just another RPG. What's the big deal? And it's like, oh, it's the RPG where you don't have to kill anybody, and I'm like, okay, I don't get it. So it's just that you don't have to grind? And then I just kind of like blew it off, and then they started playing it on Steam Train, and the first episode was like half an hour long, which was unusual. So I'm like, okay. And then I actually watched them play through it, and I'm like, oh, I get it. So that's how it's different. And that made me want to actually play it.
Yeah.
And then I didn't watch the rest of their playthrough until I had actually played the game, because they like threw up all these spoiler warnings, and then it's like, okay, at this point, if you haven't played the game yet, go play the game and then watch the rest of it. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And that was what I did.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that was the right move, because
that's fair. But yeah, I'll get to it. I just need to pull myself away from Final Fantasy long enough to do anything other than Final Fantasy.
Play all the games ever.
I mean, that's why I wanted to do
Stardew Valley
Zanshlou gaming stuff, is because like I have so many games on Steam.
Stardew Valley. I don't even fucking know why I started playing that,
but you're enjoying it?
Yeah.
That's good. At least you're enjoying it,
It's
right?
a fucking farming game. Like, the kind of stuff you make fun of people on Facebook for playing, it's like that. But there's a story to it, and characters, and it's not just click on the thing, make it grow.
I was gonna say, like, isn't it more like Harvest Moon-esque?
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah.
I think I compared it to Harvest Moon plus Terraria, with maybe... It's like 75% Harvest Moon, 25% Terraria. But there's like a lot of crafting, and there's a little bit of combat, but it's not very in-depth. It's not the focus of the game, for sure.
Yeah. One game that's kind of, like, different that I really want to get back to, now that I have, like, the full version, because I had played the demo, is Reciteer.
Oh, the
one where you run the item shop.
Yeah.
Well, so, like... half the game is running the item shop and, like, selling stuff to people and trying to, like, make enough money to not be in debt to the racketeering fairies. And the
fairies have a racket going?
Yes. You owe money to fairies. And they come to collect on, like, your father's debts or something. That's, like, the story to it.
Wow.
But, like, the other half of the game is actually, like, a dungeon crawler. So, like, you go and you hire heroes... and, like, you go into dungeons and, like, kill stuff and, like, gather things to sell in your shop.
Oh.
So...
that's interesting.
Yeah. So, like, it has enough, like, variation, and there's a lot of, like, meta humor in it. Like, the humor's pretty spot on, I think. But... and then, there's a pretty good, like, it's worth playing the demo before getting the full game, just because, like, at the... one, your save file can transfer up, but also, like, at the end of the demo, there's, like, a thing where it's like, don't pirate this game, and, but, like, it's like the character's asking you, because debt is bad. Like, they have a good way of doing it. I can't remember the exact way they put it, because it's been a while, but... yeah.
Nice.
It was charming. So.
I'll have to take another... like, I remember when that came out, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like an interesting concept. It's... instead of being the hero of the story, you're the guy who sells the hero everything he needs.
Yeah.
But I never really took another look at it, so I'll have to...
definitely
think about that one some more.
Try out the demo, at the very least.
I didn't know there was a demo, so...
yeah. And then, there's actually a few games like that where it's like I played it for a bit and I really liked it and I just never went back. Like one of them was Thomas Was Alone, and literally the only reason I stopped playing that game is because it crashed on me.
Oh.
I probably would have sat there and played through the entire game in one sitting because I was like completely hooked. Like I went in, because at the time I was just kind of like randomly playing games on Sundays. Like I'd just play something different and like play it for like 30 minutes to an hour. And like that was one of those ones where like I went in and I started playing it and I just kept playing it. Like I couldn't put it down. I was like, I need to know more about these boxes. So, yeah.
I have things to say about games about boxes, but yeah.
What about games about boxes?
I generally disapprove of the concept.
Well, it's like a puzzle platformer, and like
is it based on the fact that they're boxes? Like,
no.
Could they be replaced with anything else?
They could.
The game still make.
I think
sense?
it would. They could, but it would also lose some of the charm. They also, like, in a way, they couldn't because like each character and like. It's weird because the boxes do all have character, like personalities and names, and like the whole thing's like narrated throughout. But so like each one has a certain trait to it. So like the first one you start with, Thomas, like he's like a smaller box, but he can jump really high. And then there's another one who's like she's like a big blue box. And, like, she can float, like, in water, so, whereas other characters would just sink. Okay. And then there's, like, one that's, like, a longer one that, like, you can bounce on, and then there's, like, a smaller one that can go through, like, smaller things, and then, like, a really tall one that, you know, can jump really far and stuff. So, like, like, each one has its own traits, and then, like, there's actually, like, a story and, like, personality to all of them. So it's interesting.
So maybe it's not necessarily the kind of game I would hate on for having a simplistic design, but yeah, there's.
Yeah. No, I totally understand like disapproving of stuff for it being a little too lazy, but like
there's
works with that.
There's
game.
Simplicity and then there's laziness.
Yeah.
And yeah, most of like everything I've seen on Greenlight that. Despite all logical reason, I would pray never gets greenlit, and probably still will be because people like, oh, it's bad on purpose because it's a joke, and I'm like, fuck you.
Insert any simulator game.
It was
here.
funny when the first person to do it did it.
Now it's just annoying.
It is not funny anymore.
Yeah.
Stop it. You are pissing everybody off.
Yeah, it's at that point where it's annoying. Like, all the simulator games.
I mean, fuck. And then it's like, oh, I spent 10 minutes learning how to use tiles in Game Maker. Pay me to make this game. Like, fuck you. I've spent like 40 hours in this version of Game Maker learning how to make a basic platformer, and I'm not throwing it onto Greenlight.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You don't put your first ever shit on Greenlight.
I will say, though, for, like, as much as I dislike anything simulator because of how those games tend to be, I have no regrets in backing Bear Simulator on Kickstarter.
See, the only problem I have with that at this point is the title.
Yeah. No, even the guy who made it, like, regrets naming it that.
Oh, good. So he knows
like,
where he went wrong.
Well, because people have this expectation of Blank Simulator where it's, like, a kind of, like, poorly made, like,
glitchy,
silly game.
Look at the funny, glitchy physics kind of bullshit.
And Bear Simulator is a lot more, like realistic. Like, you're a bear, go be a bear.
And people forget that, like, Surgeon Simulator... There's still a goal.
Yeah.
There's still a thing that you have to do, and the glitchy physics are funny because you think of surgery, oh, it's something that you require very precise movements to do, and suddenly, you're, like, smashing up the table trying to grab a pair of, like, tweezers or something to pick out, like, something tiny.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's funny, that's a good joke, and it's still well made, nothing is, like,
nothing is
fucked
completely
up.
broken. Yeah,
Yeah,
like, everything does what it needs to do.
There's still a goal. You can accomplish that goal with, skillful manipulation of the physics engine. It's the fact that they're kind of slippery is the joke.
Yeah.
It's not, oh, this game is completely broken, but I still sold it to you. That's not the joke.
Yeah. But, I think Bear Simulator is, like, a good, like, relax game. Just, like, I can go into that game and just, like, chill. And just, like, run around and find things to, like, consume because I'm a bear. And find a Canada hat and put it on. And it's like, you found Canada hat, eh? And I'm like, yes.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I will forgive Bear Simulator because from what I've seen, it's just the title that pissed me off.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's actually, like, a decent physics engine here. There's no, like, crazy glitches or anything. There's some semblance of a goal there, I guess. Just
basically
find stuff to do.
Basically, the objective is, like, in each zone, there's hidden stuff throughout the game, but,
so
like,
it's exploring.
Yeah, it's an exploring game, and, like, there is, like, a mystery to it, I think. I know there's, like, stuff that you can find, but, like, you have to be a certain level to, like, get into things. So your goal is to go through every area and find everything that you can, like, consume to level up.
So it's a bit of an RPG, too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even if it was just explore and find all this stuff that we put there for you to find, I would be okay with that. That's mostly what Goat Simulator is. The fact that it has a horribly buggy, weird physics engine is, on top of, explore this world, find stuff to do, like...
Yeah, and there's, like, Easter eggs
you
and
make
stuff
up your own
it.
game. It's like, oh, there's a thing there. I want to see if I can jump from here and land on that. Or, I mean, that's making it interesting without even having much of a story or an overall goal to achieve. It's just... it makes it a game.
Yeah.
Whereas we have, like, rock simulator. You're a rock. You sit there and literally do fucking nothing.
You sit there and you be a rock.
I mean, is it an accurate...
Riveting.
Is it an accurate simulation of the experience of being a rock? Sure. Does that translate to gameplay? No.
Yeah.
Same deal with fucking grass simulator, tree simulator, all the fucking bullshit simulators. It's like...
there's a grass simulator.
There was.
I want to throw up a little in my mouth.
What else was there? Oh, there was Blank Screen Simulator, where it was just a black screen.
Pro.
Yeah.
People paid money for that?
No, it didn't get
Greenlight.
It actually got removed from Greenlight.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm proud of people for that.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, even if someone paid like 50 cents for that, I would hunt them down and murder them.
I mean, it's not even a matter of paying for it. It's allowing it to be on the Steam platform.
Yeah.
Because there are still people who will use, I'm not charging any money for this, so it's okay that it's a piece of shit. No, that's not how it works.
It's like, yeah, okay, that's great. You're not charging money for it. You're doing it as a joke. The joke has been done to death, so move on. Be original.
Like, even... the idea of a free-to-play game is that it can make money some other way, usually.
Yeah.
It's like, there's an in-game store where you can buy things to make the experience, easier. Or just different. Like, even if it's just cosmetic stuff, like a fucking hat store or something like that.
Yeah.
There's some way to make money for the developer. It's not just, this is my random shit that I threw together last night. Can I put it on Steam, please? Like, why? Why should we allocate server space to this piece of shit? When that game, which is not a piece of shit, has the potential to sell millions and millions of copies and make thousands and thousands of dollars for both Steam and the developer.
Yeah.
For Valve. It's like... what? Sometimes I wonder if they're just even gonna bother keeping Greenlight up. Just... Like, for every good thing that gets through there that I would actually want to buy, it seems like these fucking assholes are just like, ha, look at this silly, stupid game trying to get through Greenlight. I'm gonna vote for it because, lol, I'm a troll, random, ha ha ha. It's like, you know, if everybody...
I are so random.
Pretty much. It's pretty much that.
Yeah.
It's just like...
Oh, I know.
I feel like I've ranted about that before, but I don't
Probably.
remember. It might have been on the most recent SpellCast, but I don't fucking know. It's something that really pisses me off, and it needs to be ranted about. Even though nobody is listening to this podcast right now, it's like...
Trust me, I don't blame you at all. So it's fine. But yeah, there's some crap out there on Steam, but
and some of it literally is crap.
Yeah?
There are games about shitting on people.
Yes.
And these got voted through Greenlight.
Yep.
And now, because one or two of them got through, everybody else is like, oh, so poop is funny right now. Good to know. I can make a shitty game about shit.
I can make a shit game.
Yeah, really.
Haha.
A shitty shit game.
Christ.
Fucking
Christ. But,
oh, man. Fucking people.
Yeah. Why can't we get better stuff on Steam more often? One thing that I have actually really liked is that, like, there's some older games that are getting put onto Steam.
Yeah.
Like how they've been putting, like, the Final Fantasies and stuff on there.
Yeah.
Like...
And that doesn't even have to go through Greenlight. The developers are just like, hey, can we put our thing on Steam?
But,
sure.
Like, I've been thinking about that recently, and it's like, there's so many older games that I would love to have, like, a way to get, like, even if it was just digitally. Because, like, there's a lot of PlayStation titles that are harder to find, like the Digimon games, that I would love to play.
No, that's generally going to be a licensing issue. I mean, Square Enix has been like, yeah, we have some other stuff that's on PC. I don't see why we can't move some Final Fantasy games over. It's like, whatever.
Yeah, well...
But, I mean, most of the other stuff is probably like Sony or other companies that probably maybe don't even exist anymore, honestly, but...
Which is fair. Like, I totally get, like, why the stuff that's showing up is showing up. I'm just saying, like, it makes me think of other stuff that's like, man, I want to play Digimon World 2 and not on an emulator.
Yeah.
Because that'd be nice. Like, one game that I would love to, like, play through again, and, well, I managed to, like, actually get a copy now, but before I had a copy, Mega Man Legends 2. Because, like, on the PlayStation Store, for, like, the PlayStation 3 and stuff, there's a page for Mega Man Legends 2, but it's just for, like, avatars of characters from Mega Man Legends 2. Like, they don't actually have the game on there. And it pissed me off. I was like, I wonder if Mega Man... Because, you know, I know there's a lot of PlayStation classics. I'm like, I wonder if Mega Man Legends is on here. I'm like, Mega Man Legends 2, and I go to the thing, and, like, all there is, like, avatars, and I'm like, fuck you.
You lied to me!
But at the same time, like, part of me doesn't want to play that game because, like...
The cliffhanger?
Yeah.
And 3 being canceled?
I know it ends in a cliffhanger, and I know there's never going to be a 3.
Fucking Capcom. Why, Capcom? Why?
Because Capcom is dumb.
Why would you have a game, like... to the point where you're releasing, like, a prototype demo for it, and then just cancel it? I mean, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. People like Mega Man. People are would still be buying Mega Man. They've been re-releasing, like, all the classic Mega Man games.
Yeah. And people have been buying them.
You couldn't finish Legends 3. I would probably be okay with it being the last Mega Man game, but don't just cancel it because you don't want to do Mega Man anymore.
Yeah, it seems strange that they would, like, kind of kill off their, like, most known character. Like, when people think Capcom,
it's like Mega Man.
There's two things people think of: Mega Man and Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And Mega Man hasn't been getting much love lately.
And they're still making Street Fighter games, I think.
Yeah.
Is it 5?
Yeah, 5 recently
Just
came out.
Yeah.
The character roster on it's kind of piss poor. Like, I'm not really a Street Fighter fan, but I know there's a lot more than, like, the 12 characters that are in 5, and, like, half of them are new characters.
Wow. Probably holding out for DLC.
Yeah, probably. Or, you know, for, like...
Which is something else that's also bullshit that people do. It's like, oh, you mean to tell me we can make half a game, sell it at full price, and then charge more for the rest of it? We're gonna do that for everything now.
There's ways to do it. That's not
how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, like there's ways to do it right and ways to do it wrong.
Yeah, like Bethesda does it right.
Yeah.
They have a complete game. There's a story start to finish, whatever, and then the DLC is additional stuff.
Yeah,
that's not necessarily related to the main story, possibly at all. It's just more stuff you can do. And I think that's how you do... It should either be more story missions that aren't going to necessarily like affect the sequel.
Yeah.
Because if there's going to be a sequel, you want to play that and not have like DLC where it's like, oh, yeah, also this happened, and then the sequel is like, yeah, none of that happened. Yeah. Or, you know, if you didn't play the DLC, here's what happened.
I think Borderlands does DLC really good.
Yeah, it's like all
they've always been really good
stuff that you can do at any time because it's like it levels to you, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, well,
to an extent.
So like each DLC, like if you play them in order, they actually all have like a set level to them. So like Hammerlock's Hunt, I think was the first one. So like the stuff there,
that's the one I haven't
is
done.
like level 30-ish. Like, it's in that level range.
Okay.
I did that one, like, third. So, like, I just, like, powered through that entire campaign.
I think it's going to be the last one I do, because I think I've done all of the others. Let's see, I did the Pirates. I did the Dungeons & Dragons campaign.
It was either Hammerlock's Hunt or the pirate thing that was first. It was one of those two, but yeah.
The pirate one was pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked that one. Hammerlock's Hunt is the only one that I was kind of like, on. Because, first one I did was the Badass Creator Badass Dude.
That was the other one.
And that one was awesome.
I did that one, too. I was trying to remember. I thought there were 4 or 5 of them.
And then, yeah, I did the pirate one. I did the Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. Mm-hmm. That one was really good, too. Like, those two, Badass Creator and Dragon Keep, those were great.
I feel like Dragon Keep had like extra like meaning to us because we had just like started playing Dungeons and Dragons by the time we got to that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, references that I get, neat.
That's fair.
Yeah, but that's not to say it was any less badass.
The thing that was cool about it, too,
cool that the timing worked out.
Is like it was really well written and actually had like a lot of emotion to it. Like, it was a lot more deep because, like, the whole thing is about Tiny Tina's, like, accepting of Roland's death.
Yeah. I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, it was nice to see it. And then some of the jokes, like, when you find the dwarves, and I think it's Lilith is like, wait, do all the dwarves look like Salvador?
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, Tina, that's insensitive. And he was just like, hey, Salvador, is it okay if I make all my dwarves look like you? And he's just like, that is awesome!
I forgot about that. I remember there's the part where...
That's great.
Where, like, Brick wants to punch everybody, and he, like, actually succeeds at punching, like, the king of the dwarves, I think it was.
Yeah,
and it turns everybody against you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the kind of thing that happens in D&D. That's the best part.
You can just derail the entire thing with one die roll. It's like, I want to completely violate the laws of physics and do a thing. Natural 20. Well, it's law.
Well,
it's happening.
Yeah.
I want to suplex a dragon out of the air.
See, man, I still need to play the pre-sequel. Like, I've started, I think, 3 characters, and they're all, like, about at the same point.
Have you completed the main campaign even once?
No.
Wow.
So, like, I started my solo character, and I chose Wilhelm, because he seemed like he'd be the best for soloing since he has the drones.
Yeah.
And then...
I didn't have much of a problem with Nisha, but...
I'm trying to remember who I was playing... Like, there was someone I started playing with, and I started another new character to play with them, and... I'm trying to remember who I was playing. I think I started playing Handsome Jack.
Oh.
That was the second character I started playing. Which, there was this really funny line at the end of one of the quests. Because, the Handsome Jack character, it's Jack's double.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, how did you become a double for, like, a low-level engineer? It's like, well, he has a lot of ambition, and I have student loans.
Yeah, you've mentioned that before. I remember that.
But,
yeah.
And then there was someone else I was playing with that I started a character with, and I wanted to try out the Baroness, Hammerlock's sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like her kit. Like, there's one tree that I love, but you cannot play solo with that tree. That tree requires 2 people. Because you have to have them, like, contract with you, and then you both get buffs as you kill stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, like, you enter into contract with me, like, you're my slave, basically. You kill stuff, and it gets, like, it creates, like, stacks. And then, like, I kill stuff, and, like, it gets other stacks, and, like, we both get buffs for, like, killing stuff. That's awesome.
Very different.
Yeah, it's a really cool, like, concept, and I just, But, you know, it's something I have to play with someone. I can't play that character solo. So, and I've been having a hard time going, like, through that game because I want to play it with someone, and, you know, I keep getting distracted, or, like, I'll play with someone new, or what have you. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've gone through the main campaign twice now, I think. I know I beat it once, and the final boss is kind of a bit of a bitch compared to, you know, other final bosses. But, yeah. With overpowered Nisha, it's kind of... He kind of goes down like a bitch. It's just like, activate power, unload into his face, and then he dies.
Yeah. One of these days.
It's one of the few times I've actually farmed, like, an end boss. Because I wanted, like, legendary gear from it. And I was like, okay, this thing is easy to kill. I'm just going to keep doing it.
I'm just going to keep killing it.
Like, it's easy, but it's time-consuming. And then in True Vault Hunter mode, it's... No, it's not True Vault Hunter mode. It's one of the invincible bosses that you supposedly need 4 people to kill.
Yeah, one of the raid bosses.
Yeah, I soloed it.
Nice.
With Nisha.
Very nice.
It was time-consuming.
Carry me.
It's time-consuming as hell, but it's exactly the same as the end boss of the game. I was disappointed to find that out.
Aw.
Yeah, like, with the exception of it has, like, 10 times as much health, it's the exact... I think the attacks do more damage, so it's...
Yeah.
Because it did, like, one-shot me into Fight for Your Life a couple times, but he has, like, little minions that spawn around him, too, so it's just like, bang, okay, I'm back in the fight.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it was not a... It was kind of a disappointing raid boss, but I can say that I've soloed a raid boss.
That's fair. God, I'd still love to go back to, like, Borderlands 2, and, like, because I haven't finished True Vault Hunter mode. I have one character that I started it on, but I haven't gotten all the way through it, and I want to get to Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, finish that, and then, like, I want to actually try to do some of the raid bosses. Because there's a couple that I think me and Corey tried to 2-man, because, like, they were lower leveled, and they were the ones from the DLC, and, like, yeah, it was from the Captain Scarlet's thing, the pirate DLC, and there's one of the raid bosses, he's, like, level 25, and we're like, this will be easy, we're level 40, and he still wrecks us.
Wow.
And it's like, oh my god. this isn't okay. Like,
yeah, there was one that
they're just really hard to kill.
That we tried to do. I think it was in Hammerlock's Hunt, because... No, I think that was just a regular boss. I don't think it was a raid boss, because we actually beat it as far as I recall, but...
Yeah.
Then I was like twice your level and just kind of tagging along for the hell of it.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh yay, we destroyed the final boss.
Yeah, because like you have like the one character that you focused on.
Yeah, that's usually what ends up happening too when I play a Borderlands game. It's like, yay, I've done the story, done True Vault Hunter mode, halfway through Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. I am like level 60 now.
Yeah. See, I like to try out the different classes, so. Like, with Borderlands 2, I think I have, like, 5 characters.
Huh.
I think the only character I haven't really tried is Salvador. Yeah, because when I was playing with you, I started with 0. And, so I've beaten the game with 0. And then I did Maya for, I think it was when I was playing with Corey. And, I just kind of turned into the party healer. Because I went down the support tree. And then I did Axton for my solo character because I was like, turrets everywhere.
Nice.
Getting the double turret ability is amazing, and then getting the one where you can stick it to walls.
Yeah.
Just turret on the ceiling, turret on the floor. They're both bubble shields. I'm just gonna stand back.
Yeah, because when we played the campaign, I was Axton.
Yeah.
I think by the end of the campaign we were near 40. I think.
I think by the end of the campaign we were about 27-ish.
Really? I thought we were closer to middle 30-ish or
because
something.
My highest level character is my Axton, and the reason is since he's my solo character, he's the one who I went through all the DLC with, and I went through I wanted to do everything in the base game before going to True Vault Hunter, so I did all the side quests and all the DLC on him, so he has all that experience just from normal mode.
Huh.
And he's at 42-ish, I think. But, and then the Necromancer is so stupid.
Yeah, so I have my level, I think last I left off, I was level 54 on my Siren, which was my solo main. And then I started a Necromancer game, I was level 15-ish, I think, as far as I got.
Were you going down the anarchy tree?
Yes.
Yeah. Tree's stupid.
There was Axton, which was level 20-ish apparently. I think that was it. I never started 0 or Salvador.
Yeah. And I know I tried the Psycho for a little bit.
Oh, Psycho. Yeah, I knew there was one more. Yeah. I started a game, got to level 2, because it was on my Steam machine when I first got it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just trying out. I was oh, this is kind of cool. And then I realized it didn't have my my save games synced. And I was annoyed at that because it's a different operating system, so it can't do it, I guess.
Lame.
And I was damn it, so I can't play any of my saved games. So I just started a new character just to see what it played like. And yeah, controller very different from keyboard and mouse.
Yeah. The one thing that I found out about the Necromancer, in Sanctuary, the gun shop, how there's that test dummy that you can shoot to see how much damage you do and stuff. Shooting at him counts for the forcing your gun to reload, so you can build up anarchy stacks in town.
Oh,
what I do, I only use shotguns on that character basically.
Yeah,
and I get I try to find ones that have one shot and then reload to build up anarchy as quickly as possible. So I go in there and I go up to him and I just start unloading, and I'll just go through an entire clip, and then I'll refill my ammo, and then I'll go out and start doing quests.
Nice.
Because I'll go out with 200 stacks of anarchy, and I'll just I don't know what's going on. I'm going to shoot the floor and kill 5 things.
Bang!
Because it ricochets randomly.
I'm going to shoot straight into a wall and kill everything behind me. Even things that were directly behind me that, logically speaking, should have killed me first.
I love how she gets slightly like crazier as she goes. Like all her like voice clips and stuff just go more and more insane the more anarchy you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went on a Borderlands tangent again.
We always do. It's my fault this time.
It's always fucking Borderlands.
It's a good game.
Battleborn. Let's talk about Battleborn.
That's a good game. I enjoyed it during the closed test.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because the weekend I got the closed test thing was the weekend of a LAN. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I went to the LAN and I played like maybe 4 or 5 matches. I didn't play a lot of it, but like enough to get a feel for it. And I tried out, first character I tried out was Benedict, because I'm like, he's like a bird and he's got a rocket launcher. That's awesome. And he seemed a little powerful at the time. I don't know how he is like in the game's current state, but I really liked him. And then the other character I tried out was Marquis, because robot.
Yeah.
Robot with an owl and yeah.
Yeah, I just remember like looking through the characters in the closed test and being like, oh, that's a robot wearing a suit, a bowler hat, and a monocle. He is going to be my main forever, and I haven't even played him yet.
Yep, that was pretty much how I felt. If I remember right, too, like, when I first was trying out the closed technical test, like, I wanted to play him, but someone picked him before me, so I was like, I guess I'll try out the bird, and then I ended up really liking the bird.
Nice.
But, yeah, you have to unlock the bird, and so, like, when I was playing the open one, I was like, oh... okay, I just tried out completely new characters that I hadn't played before, and I liked them. There was a couple where it's like, I don't feel as useful, but I think it was just kind of like familiarity with the game building up kind of thing. But
I've only played the one round of Versus and the one story mission that were in the open beta, because I found out about it like 2 days before it was going to close anyway, so... I like that the Versus multiplayer, it feels more balanced. I don't know if maybe I was playing like an OP character, but it felt like I was doing more damage than like I normally, like in any other game.
Yeah.
It would be like, oh yeah, I'm just like throwing pebbles at this guy and he one-shot me. It didn't feel like there was as much or any of that going on. Like there was...
yeah,
it felt better balanced, I guess.
the character balance is really good. Like, so one of the characters I tried that I had an issue with, and my issue was all like on me, was Thorn. She's like the elf chick with like the bow.
Oh yeah.
And with that character, it was all me being like terrible and not being able to hit anything with the bow. But like, yeah, the damage and stuff is really balanced. Pretty much the only time you see an imbalance is when one team gets ahead and they start getting higher leveled.
Yeah.
That's when you start really feeling the imbalance of like, well, they're ahead of us and we're behind. And
yeah. So it's more focused on early game getting an advantage and keeping that, trying to keep that up. Because, yeah, that was kind of what ended up happening in the one game I played. We pretty much just rushed their first, like, turret sentry or whatever it was. And, like, maybe 5 minutes into the game, we had already gotten it down to, like, half health. And, you know, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to stand back here and, like, fire off my ultimate, like, sniper shots at it. And we took it down, like, almost instantly. But then for another, like, half an hour, it was just us trying to get to their second one.
Yeah.
But they never made any progress on ours. So it was just us constantly, like, pushing on them.
Yeah.
And they were fighting us off pretty well, apparently, but eventually we finally managed to, you know... No, time ran out, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, so time ran out, and we won by default because we had destroyed one of theirs, and they didn't do shit on us.
Like,
so...
it falls into the trap that, like, most games like that do, where it comes down to how well the team works together. So, like, if you have good teamwork, even if you're behind, you can still, like, kind of push back and, you know, keep the balance and not lose. Mm-hmm. But if your team isn't coordinated at all, you're screwed. Like, that's all there is to it. Like, that's pretty much how all my games were. Like, the game where I was playing Thorm sucked. Because, so, like, my entire team went down one side. So there was one side where it was just me.
Oh.
And there was, like, 3 of them over there. So, like, I was holding them off. Like, they weren't really making, like, progress. I was, you know, keeping their minions back and stuff. But I also, you know, I wasn't making progress. Like, it was just me, and there was, like, 3 of them that kept, like, kind of going between there and, like, the middle. So, yeah, it didn't end well for us. Tried. I tried real hard. But...
So hopefully I don't regret, like...
Buying it.
Like, not just buying it, but pre-ordering it with the Season Pass. I don't think I've ever done that for anything.
Yeah.
Like, gotten the Season Pass with a pre-order.
I did that with Evolve.
Oh, and that didn't turn out well.
My only regret is that everyone stopped playing it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I love that game. I think that game is fantastic. Like, that game got a lot of shit when it came out because of having, like, day one DLC, which was the Season Pass, which was characters that weren't even released yet. But people were bitching at it, like, being like, oh, there's all this stuff that's hidden behind a paywall. It's like, no, those characters aren't even made yet. The other characters you're thinking of, you have to unlock.
Yeah.
By just playing the game, and it takes like an hour to unlock them. Tops.
Yeah. See, I have complaints about DLC, but that's not necessarily one of them. Like,
yeah.
If it can be in the game when it's released, it should be. And DLC should be stuff that's not made when the game is already out. Or, like, when it's ready to come out. Like, it's not...
I think there are advantages to day one DLC, but you have to be careful as what you're making the DLC.
Yeah.
Like, if the DLC is, like, for, like, a story-based game, for example, if the DLC is, like, something that has, like, a huge, like, effect on the story and is, like, debatably important.
Like Mass Effect.
Like Mass Effect and, like, that character.
Yeah.
Like...
So you're familiar with that whole...
I'm familiar with that. Like
incident. That
I can understand.
You can't, like, make a game, cut out that important part, and try to sell it back to us. That's not good.
Yeah. And, like, that's all on EA.
Yeah.
And
then,
I think...
But then you also get stuff, like... on disc DLC, where it's on the disc when it sells.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Like, there's no reason for that. Just have it in the game by default. Make it unlockable, like, through whatever you do in the game. Don't charge us for something that we've already bought.
The idea with, like, that... Well, so usually on disc DLC, like, when you're buying the game new... Like, there'll be, like, a code with the new game that'll, like, let you get that. And that's kind of, like, this is for being a loyal customer.
It's an incentive to buy it new, yeah.
As opposed to buying it used.
Yeah. And, I mean, and then they put in placeholders. And that makes sense for, like, future DLC. Because I think they did that with Destiny. Like, somebody, like, exploited a glitch and got into an area that was supposed to be DLC, but it wasn't all there. And I think they were trying to accuse Bungie of, like, doing that thing where it's like, oh yeah, this DLC is already on the disc. Why are you charging us for it? It's like, no, it's not.
It's not
all there. That's just where it's a placeholder.
Yeah, it's the
if you buy it, that's where it's going to go. So they know where it is in relation to all the other stuff that you have, and that makes sense. I mean, you're not supposed to even be able to get there anyway.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's. Like fighting games with characters that are like DLC, it's like, just put it on the disc and have us unlock it some other way.
Yeah, well, and see, like, I don't know. I think on one hand for fighting games, that's fine. On the other hand, it depends on, like, when it comes out and how they do it.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's look at Marvel vs. Capcom 3, right? Like, the original release had a great roster, and... I think it was like a month or so after they released like 2 characters for DLC. You could get Jill from Resident Evil and Shuma Gorath for the Marvel side. And that was fine. But, you know, fast forward a couple months later, so 3 months after the base game released, you have Ultimate you have the Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 that has 12 more characters is the full game of like the original one, but with those 12 extra characters, and it costs $20 cheaper than buying the original game new. That pissed me off because I bought the original game new. They had a display at Best Buy, and I was like, I'm going to try this out because I was looking into it a little bit, and I was like, it has Zero and it has Amaterasu. If those two characters are fun to play, I want this game. So I tried it out. I enjoyed it, so I picked it up new, $60. 3 months, Ultimate, 12 more characters, $40.
Wow.
I still got it.
It was a full game.
Yeah, it's the full game with 12 more characters in it for $20 cheaper.
Wow.
Yeah. Capcom was not making smart decisions that year.
I don't even know how they would justify. You would think it would be the same or more.
Yeah.
For having more content in it.
Yeah.
But that just doesn't even make sense. In the slightest.
It was cheaper new.
If the only difference is more characters and the rest of it's all exactly the same, put them out as DLC.
Yeah.
$10 for 12 characters. Or whatever. But, I mean...
Well, if they did it... Because I want to say the other two... The one nice thing is, the DLC characters for the original, those transferred up to the Ultimate version. You could still use Shumagorath and Jill. And I was like, okay, I'm a little more okay with that. I want to say their price per character was something like $5. So, for the number of characters you're getting, technically, that's not a bad deal, but at the same time, it is the full game, on its own. You don't have to have the base game to get Ultimate.
So somebody who's buying the new game is getting a better deal than you did when you bought the original game.
Yeah, then when I bought the original game as, being a loyal Capcom fan, buying it,
they're just
when it comes out.
basically saying, fuck you.
Yeah. I think it was either the same year or the year before they officially canceled Mega Man Legends 3. So it was just this time period of Capcom making bad decisions
with the train wreck only to be surpassed by Konami.
Oh god.
Fucking god, what happened to Konami? Oh yeah, we're just gonna buy Hideo Kojima, buy Silent Hill, everything ever.
And
we're gonna make slot machines now.
Looking at Silent Hills, everything up until them canceling it was advertising brilliance. The way they did it, they didn't say anything. Hey,
it's just
here's this demo.
Here's this thing.
Didn't even say anything about Silent Hills. It was just PT. What's PT stand for?
Oh my god, it's the scariest fucking thing I've ever seen.
And it was cryptic. It took all this figuring out, and they just let it spread itself. And everyone was excited for it. And then they're just we're gonna cancel it. And nobody make pachinko machines.
Yeah, it's what the fuck?
Fuck.
Nobody even guessed that was related to Silent Hill until somebody finally managed to figure out enough to actually finish the trailer demo.
Figured out
whatever
your
the
cryptic
fuck you want to
bullshit.
call it. Yeah. And it's first of all, how do you figure that?
I don't know, man.
I rewatched some Let's Plays of it because somebody was mentioning something about it on Reddit, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
That was a thing that everyone was excited for.
At the time, nobody knew anything about it, and then out of curiosity, I looked up. It's on the Silent Hill wiki now, and I'm like, oh, there's actually detailed step-by-step instructions on how to do this now. When did that happen? Last time I heard, people were still guessing what the numbers were trying to guess what the numbers meant.
Yeah. And
apparently it's nothing relevant to actually finishing the game.
Yeah. I mean, there's meaning to it, but
yeah, it's an anagram in Japanese or something, but yeah.
God.
Fucking Konami though.
Yeah, I don't One day we'll live in a world where game companies stop making these terrible decisions, and we'll get all these good games, and we'll be happy, and we won't be oh man, remember that one game that could have come out but didn't.
We can only hope that Kojima gets the chance to make what should have been a Silent Hill game, but it'll end up being a new, completely original deal.
Yeah,
which might actually be better because with Silent Hill, like with an established game series, you expect certain things.
Yeah, you're kind of pigeonholed into having...
It's going to have, like, these similar mechanics and stuff like that. And I feel like if he can take what was implemented in, like, PT and make a game, an original game...
Yeah,
there's more room for, you know, to be surprising and unexpected, and...
Yeah.
Who knows what kind of crazy shit might happen here. Whereas in Silent Hill, it's like, oh yeah, this is the part where you run into Pyramid Head again for no reason.
Yeah.
Because he only had significance to the main character of Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
Because he was, like, symbolic of, like, rape or something.
It's...
And why is this character in Silent Hill, like, 5 meeting him now when that's nothing to do with it? It's like, because he's iconic. Because you expect to see him in Silent Hill.
Yeah. That's the problem with, like, franchises, and, like, the horror genre in general has a hard time with it, because it's like, on one hand, having, like, a series, like an established name, is going to sell better than a new IP.
Because people know what to expect.
But, like, there's no mystery there, and that's a big part of horror, is, like, not knowing what's going on is what creates the fear. That's why, like, later Resident Evil games are just running guns.
Yeah.
You know? They turn into action games around, like, 5.
Yeah. I think the 2 Amnesia games we have were... I would say they were sufficiently different. I mean...
Yeah.
The second one...
I still need to play Machine for Pigs.
I mean, it was, in general, a bit disappointing to me personally, because of how well the first one did, like a lot of the horror. There was some of that, but it was more story-focused. It was more like, go from point A to point B, experience the story, go to point B to point C, experience the story.
I getcha.
Oh no, hide from the scary monster before it attacks you.
Yeah.
There wasn't... It's been a while since I played it, but I don't recall there being much puzzle solving like there was in the Dark Descent. There was... It still had a Lovecraft-inspired story, because it was just less of a cosmic horror and more of a, oh my god, how could a human being do that to another human being kind of perspective, which is, you know, something people kind of leave out of most Lovecraft stuff. It's like, oh, here's Cthulhu, it's Lovecraft. It's like, no, I mean, if you read any Lovecraft, Cthulhu is probably the least Lovecraftian thing to come out of his entire mythos. Like, it's an actual physical being with a form that is like, yeah, it's kind of scary looking, but when you read about some of the other stuff that he wrote into existence, it's like, wow. There's stuff where it's like, oh yeah, if you acknowledge this thing's presence, it will fry your brain. Like, just that kind of level of cosmic horror. But then Machine for Pigs, it's like, oh yeah, this guy, he built a factory that cooks his dinner guests into human pigs and, like, meat and stuff like that. Yeah. It's like, okay, that's disturbing on a completely different level.
Yeah.
Because there was, like, an actual a Lovecraft story that was kind of that similar concept, where a guy moves into, like, his ancestral family home, and he keeps hallucinating that he's hearing, like, rats crawling around on the wall, and I guess eventually he discovers, like, this hidden... like this whole complex underground where people were just farming humans and eating them. And it's like, holy shit.
See, I wish I could, like, focus more on reading. I have such a hard time, like, just sitting there and reading. Like, if I get into a book, I get into a book. I will just lose a night to reading. But I have a hard time, like, sitting down and focusing. But that's where I do appreciate, like, movie adaptations of stuff. Because there was one, I'm trying to find it, because, like, you started talking about Lovecraft, and I want to say we had a movie that was based on a Lovecraft story that was, like, really good and, like, disturbing in a way.
I know there have been a couple of films that were...
From Beyond.
Oh, never heard of that one.
You should watch this.
Oh, it's explicitly based on Lovecraft. It's like an actual adaptation.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of movies that are like, oh, weird. It's based on this story, but we're not actually calling it that or anything like that. But it's like the same concept. And
Yeah, it's weird, and it's pretty good. Like, I mean, it's an older movie, it's kind of cheesy, but it's pretty good and kind of, like, disturbing in a gross way.
The creators of Reanimator, no fucking wonder. Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I mean, insanity, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's Lovecraft for you.
But...
Because, I mean, like, a lot of the idea behind a lot of Lovecraft's more out there kind of stuff, it's like, oh, yeah, everything we see is just how the human brain interprets the world around us.
Yeah.
But, you know, if we elevated the human ability to perceive things even slightly, we'd probably just go insane from seeing all the horrible stuff that's actually there.
Yeah, and that's pretty much like the whole concept to that one, is like there's someone who's trying to like elevate his like consciousness or something, and like he makes this machine that does it, and like they start seeing like these weird beings and shit, and it starts like physically changing them.
That's why I want to play Bloodborne, actually, because like I've watched the entire Game Grumps playthrough, and aside from the combat being like Dark Souls but better. As in, like, it looks like something I could actually do. Because, like, I tried playing Dark Souls again just yesterday, like, picking up where I left off. It's so fucking, like, clunky and slow, and it's like...
That's how I've always felt about it.
It's cool because if you actually had a weapon that big and armor like that, that's about how you'd actually move. But at the same time, it makes combat a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, even fighting regular enemies.
One thing I found is playing Dark Souls is a lot more fun if you're playing it co-op with someone. Like,
but yeah, and then I watched the Game Grumps play a Bloodborne, and it's like it's the same general combat system, but there's a lot more mobility to it. Like, it's more focused on dodging and finding the right moment to strike, and I feel like I would like that more than Dark Souls. I just don't have a PlayStation 4. But the thing about Bloodborne is it's also got a lot of Lovecraft stuff to it. Because I read the wiki like cover to cover, and I'm like, that's cool. I want to experience this story.
Yeah, that's. I wish Bloodborne was on Steam, because like I would totally get into Bloodborne. Like, I have a hard time getting into the Dark Souls, partly because I don't care much about the world.
There's like no story to it, from what I can tell.
Like, there is like story there. Like, if you talk to like the NPCs and like actually kind of take in the lore of what's going on around you, there is story there. Like, there's a lot of really good stuff there, but just like the general aesthetic of the game is, it feels kind of like it's that done to death like medieval setting. And like I love medieval settings, but at the same time it's like I can't get into the game. But Bloodborne has that
it's like
gothic horror
like
feel.
Victorian kind of,
and I love that sort of setting. So like, you know, I could totally get into Bloodborne. I just wish it was on Steam, so I didn't have to get a PS4 to fucking play the game. But I keep
eventually
I'll buckle down and get one. I'm
like
sure.
Rumors that they're gonna like at least think about releasing it on PC or something. But then it's like, no, they're not. Yes, they are. No, they're not. Yes, they are. And it's like, whatever. But the story. Like, I was surprised when I was looking at the wiki about it, just like, oh, that enemy was kind of cool. I wonder what the wiki says about it. And it was just like, oh yeah, there's all this like really dark, creepy, like Lovecraftian kind of stuff going on behind the scenes, and I'm like, oh, it's that kind of story. And it's like, yeah, there was this guy who was like, he tried to elevate his conscious by putting like eyeballs on his brain or something like that, because it's like literally, or like, is there like magic involved, or what? And it's just like all this crazy otherworldly weird stuff that I want to play that game, because it looks like a good blend of combat mechanics that I would enjoy and the story that I would enjoy.
One thing that bothers me about Dark Souls as well, though, is like, on one hand, I get that it's part of like what people like about the game, but at the same time, I hate that other players can invade you.
I don't think I've even gotten that far that it's a problem yet. But...
Well, so they can't invade you unless you use a humanity to like unhollow yourself. But if you don't unhollow yourself, you can't do co-op. 2, you can't like you actually like lose stats while you're hollowed. Like you're not as powerful. So like it's beneficial to use humanities and unhollow yourself, but that also leaves you open to being invaded. And there's like a lot of like really high level people that will hang out in like the starting zone just to invade new players.
Wow, that's bullshit.
And it's fucking obnoxious because it's like, I just want to get through this game. I just want to play and enjoy this game, but I can't enjoy it because some asshole comes in and kills me.
There's like no way to...
You can't
not
turn it
allow
off.
that? Wow.
Like, you are always online. If you have and if you are unhollowed, you are vulnerable to being attacked. And it's obnoxious.
Wow.
I was playing online with a friend, like, they're huge fans of the game, and, like, they convinced me to play with them. I was like, sure, I'll play a bit. So we killed a few bosses, but, like, we lost to one boss, and we were preparing to go back into it. And, like, in the time it was taking to, like, prepare to, like, resummon them into my world so that that's the other thing that I don't like, is how you have to do co-op is kind of a pain in the ass, but that's besides the point. But, like, in the time it took me to, like, you know, get back to, like, that area, resummon them, and like, we were preparing to summon them back into my world so we can go fight the boss again. They got invaded by another player, and that player killed them, and then that same player who killed them invaded me and killed me.
Oh.
And it was obnoxious because it's like, every time you die, you lose all the souls you had, right?
Yeah. And that...
If you didn't recover your
is...
souls from the previous time you died, those souls all go away.
Yeah.
Since we had died in the boss room, like, there were souls in the boss room that we needed to go get.
And then this asshole just comes in
and this asshole comes in and kills... We both stopped after that. We're like, I'm done for tonight.
That's usually what causes me to stop playing. It's like, okay, I just died here. I'm gonna go get my souls back. Okay, well, I just died. Fuck it. Like, that was... I played... Like, yesterday, I started playing again for, like, the first time in several months. So, I was actually surprised I was exactly where I remembered I was, first of all, because I didn't get very far, apparently. But, yeah, I killed a bunch of guys, got some souls, but it wasn't enough to level up. So I was like, okay, I'll just keep going forward. Found a stronger enemy that I was kind of afraid of because I have all these souls, I don't want to die. But I kind of, like, noticed that I was doing a reasonable amount of damage to him when I got a chance to attack him. So I was like, okay, I can take him. I couldn't take him, and I died. So I was like, okay, well, now that I know, like, what his deal is, his pattern is, I can actually take him this time, and because I don't have any souls on me, I've got nothing to lose, I just want to go get my souls back and kill this asshole. And, yeah, I, like, rolled when I was trying to block, and he stabbed me, and I died again. So all the souls went away, and I was like, well, fuck. I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah, it's obnoxious.
It's that kind of game.
Like, I like that the game is difficult, and I like that it's punishing. Like, it punishes you for death.
Yeah.
I hate that you're punished for other players causing your death. Like, that pisses me off. Because, like, whenever you die, you become hollowed, so you have to use a humanity to unhollow. So we died to the boss, so we had to unhollow to, like, rejoin each other. And then I have to use another humanity because this asshole killed me. It's like...
And plus all the souls, gone
and,
forever.
Yeah, so it's like losing out on, like, items and experience, essentially, and at the same time, just because, like, you can't turn off the fact that other players can attack you.
Yeah.
So, I get it. Like, it's part of the game experience, and people like that about the games.
But it's that doesn't make it less bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't make it less obnoxious.
Like, it's one thing if your own lack of skill is what causes you to die. It's something else when somebody who's like, oh yeah, I've played through the game 84 times, I am level 9 million, I can stab you to death with a needle and you'll die instantly. Yeah. It's like, how...
Yeah, when someone comes in with, like, much better gear than you and just, like, two-shots you, it's like, well,
it's not even fair that they can just do that.
Yeah.
But I haven't even, like, had any problems with that, probably because I spent so much time already dead.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm not even going to bother doing the humanity thing because I'm just going to die again.
Yeah, I remember when I was playing solo, like, I didn't bother with it at all. I was just like, there's no point. I'm just going to get invaded and killed, so fuck it. But, yeah.
Ugh. Fucking difficult games and their bullshit.
Yeah. But, like I said, I would totally get into Bloodborne just for the, like, theming of it.
Yeah.
But, nope. No Steam version. No PC version. They're not cool enough for that. Like, I get it. PlayStation 4 needs its exclusives, but it's been out long enough. You can give it to us PC gamers now, please.
Yeah, really. Well, it's also a matter of them, like, porting it over. They can't just, like, okay, here's the game file, have it on Steam. It's like...
Yeah, no, there's obviously issues there, but still.
Yeah, it would be awesome. I would buy the shit out of it, play the shit out of it several times.
Yeah.
Read everything. Yeah.
Yeah. We've recorded for a good hour and a half and talked about a lot.
Yeah.
Probably a good point to cut it.
You think so?
I'm thinking. I don't know. We could keep going, but like, it's already going to be long.
Yeah, I mean, I joked like, yeah, we're gonna have to do like a 2-hour SpellCast because of how long it's been since we did the last one, but.
But like at this rate, we are going to go for 2 hours.
I figured we'd have a lot to talk about, and
yeah,
most of what we talked about wasn't even related to the fact that we were like
AFK for so long,
dead for like a full month, and then some on the SpellCast.
Yeah, no, I think that was a good like 30-40 minutes. That was Borderlands. Every time
it was 15 minutes at the most, probably.
I bet it's at least 20. At least.
All right, I'll check it when I like throw it into editing and all that, which I don't do much for anyway. It's just like, oh yeah, put it in there and do the thing.
Put it in there and it's done.
Throw in some videos for the annotations at the end.
Yeah.
And suddenly there's like a random cartoon character that I want to dance across the screen. I don't know.
Or
we don't really do that much of that though. Yeah,
we don't. Or there's that my amiibo.
Yeah,
that
was. Yeah, and I just left him there for like the rest of the episode.
Yeah,
he's like,
noticed.
He's staring into your soul.
God, me and my knees.
And for the Halloween episode, I don't know if it was even noticeable, but like starting like at the very start of the video and at the very end of it, I just had like a little blood driplet just kind of slowly going down, and I think it was like an hour of audio, so it took like an hour for it to go from the top to like probably about the middle of the screen, so it was really slow, and you wouldn't even notice it unless you like skipped ahead in the video, or if you
looked at it and then like came back at the end, like that wasn't there.
Yeah. Just fun Halloween stuff.
Yeah, little details.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah, and I think at the end I had like a Five Nights at Freddy's face just like pop up after the end video links. Just like, hey. No noise or anything, it was just there.
Just boom.
Yeah. Jump scares are fun. When used correctly.
When used correctly. When not overused. I'm looking at you, 90% of modern horror.
I mean, 90% of modern horror is like, oh, I want to make Slender or I want to make Five Nights at Freddy's.
Well, I was more talking about like movies.
Oh, yeah, movies too.
But, yeah.
I was thinking games because we've been talking about games, but
yeah.
Yeah, that's another shitty thing on Greenlight. It's like, oh yeah, I made a dark and spooky horror game in this hospital that I bought from a 3D model site. And you have to collect the things and run away from the thing.
Yeah.
So
Slender and Five Nights at Freddy's clones are a little much at this point.
It's either run through the dark place, collect the things, avoid the thing, or look at cameras and watch out for the things. It's like, really? It's like I said before, the first time somebody did it, it was good. Stop it now. And I mean, it's like one thing for it to be a fan game, it's something else for it to be like a fucking ripoff. It's like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, there are some fan games out there that have like improved on the formula.
Yeah, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's not a fan game, if it's inspired by it or using the same concept, if you're adding something to it, I don't care that you're inspired by it or if it's like, you know, based on that game, because that's what 99% of most games nowadays are to begin with. You just have to disguise it enough that it's not obvious.
Yeah, like I liked the One Night at Flumpty's.
Yeah, that was
like that one's really well done, and like it's very different.
Yeah.
So I like
while
that.
Still using the basic concept of
yeah,
use a security camera to keep yourself safe from scary monsters in a children's like cartoony kind of place or something.
Yeah.
But even then, that was like a parody too, so it's
in a way. Yeah.
It could get away with being more of a ripoff than it even was, but the fact that it was more original than that is just more credit to it.
Not too long ago. Well, I don't know. It's been a few months, but like, Game Theory started doing like the streaming and stuff, and like I usually don't catch the actual streams, but sometimes I'll watch the videos on YouTube afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And they had played through that one, and that was really funny to watch. Because, they've had some interesting streaming moments. Like, I need to watch more of their videos where they do the streams, because, like one thing they did, and I think it was like a sponsored stream or whatever, I guess there was a mod released for Minecraft by, like, Verizon or something, where, like, you put down an actual phone. Like, you put down, like, an item, and it's like a cell phone tower. It just builds itself. And then, like, you put down the thing, and it's a phone. Like, an actual, like, smartphone in Minecraft. And they ordered a pizza with the phone in Minecraft.
Okay.
And then when the delivery girl came and delivered the pizza, they're like, we're streaming right now. Mind if we just, like, kidnap you for... They just totally kidnap... She's like, yeah, sure, I'll hang out for a bit.
Wow.
It was really funny. It was interesting. But yeah, I have no idea, like, that mod, it seems so, like, out of control that there is, like,
that level
of mod.
Manipulation.
Yeah.
Possible. I mean, people can do crazy shit in video games, especially if that's connected to the internet. Theoretically, anything should be possible.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah. That was the thing. That was interesting.
That is a thing, huh? I guess. I don't know.
I was just trying to see how long we could have an awkward silence.
An awkward silence.
Yeah,
we can go for another half hour talking about like comic short stuff if you want.
I think I'm good.
I remade Spriteverse and it's good now and not shit.
Yeah, I think it's coming out along very nicely. I'm having fun seeing it pop up every week.
Yeah, which is another thing I'm trying to keep to is once a week.
Yeah.
Which is really hard when I have so many episodes, like, in reserve. It's like, I want to post them all now and show everybody, but it's like, no, then I won't have anything else to upload.
Yeah. I
But,
totally get that.
yeah.
Yeah. Keeping yourself scheduled, it's rough, but it's so worth it.
Like, it's not even, like, I'm worried about missing a week. It's that I don't want to upload everything at once.
Yeah. Because you could.
Because I could. But then it would be, like, probably a month before there was another update.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've barely worked on anything. I always have, like, these moments where I just have, like, this idea. And then, like, I'll, like, sketch something at best, and then I'll just, like, move on with life.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah. I do want to...
There's a reason I have a Dropbox full of, like, game and comic and other ideas. It's just like, yeah, one day this will become something.
Yeah, that's like my life goal, is to just one of my ideas. It doesn't matter which. Just one of the things, like one of the stories I want to tell actually becomes something. Yeah. All I want.
It would be nice to have that level of motivation and skill. I think it's mostly motivation. Like, with enough motivation, you can overcome a lack of skill just by wanting to do it.
I remember seeing this post that was like, I have all these great character ideas, but no idea for a story. And there was a response that was just like, you should make a fighting game. And I'm like, yes.
Or a beat 'em up.
Or a beat 'em up would work.
Yeah.
You don't need much of a story for a beat 'em up.
Yeah, and that's always like the site that's doing the fundraising thing for Psychonauts, Fig.
Yeah.
There was like I don't know why, but their stuff keeps showing up on Facebook. I don't think I'm subscribed to their page or anything, but
it just keeps popping up.
Yeah, stuff like keeps popping up like, oh, fund this for us. It's like, no, I only want Psychonauts. That was the only one that looked interesting. But one of them was like a beat 'em up from some like movie franchise that was relevant like 20 years ago. And I'm like, first of all, why? Second of all, why now? And then it's a beat 'em up, and I'm like, okay. And I actually left a comment saying something like, okay, no, because beat 'em ups to me says, we have this franchise, we don't know what to do with it. This is the easy route. And somebody was like, why are you hating on beat 'em ups? And I'm like, I'm not hating on beat 'em ups. I don't like it when it doesn't make sense with the story they have. Because it was Jay and Silent Bob, I think, was what they had, and it's like, why would you make a game out of that? And then to have it be a beat 'em up, it's just like, okay, you don't know what to do with it. Like it doesn't make any sense for these characters to be fighting waves of enemies at all to me. I don't know anything about the actual movie, but I'm 99% sure it was some stupid like stoner comedy. And yeah, that was just kind of like where I went with that. It's like, it doesn't make sense for these characters to be fighting.
Yeah.
Like for Scott Pilgrim, it makes sense because it's a story about like one guy fighting a bunch of other guys. And I think like somebody was getting on to me. It's like, well, there's good ones too, and I'm not saying there's not good ones. I know Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a game about like 4 guys fighting a bunch of other guys. That makes sense for it to be a beat 'em up. Scott Pilgrim makes sense for it to be a beat 'em up. Like these, it has to make sense for it to be that genre of game.
Yeah, you can't go and like turn. Here, what would be something stupid?
The Babadook.
Yeah, you can't turn the Babadook into a beat 'em up. Just playing as like the little kid with like, you have like the catapult as like your super.
Yeah, it'd be like some like 90s like Super Nintendo shitty adaptation, like the fucking like Home Alone or Dennis the Menace or some like random like
Home Improvement.
Yeah, like just random platforming bullshit like that. It's like, okay, it just does not make any sense. Like,
yeah.
First of all, this franchise did not need to be adapted into video game form. Second of all, you did a shit job of it to begin with.
Oh man, like I can mentally picture the Babadook as like a video game, like, you know, in that like 16-bit style.
I mean, it's always fun to see like pixel art, like mock-ups of ideas like that. But 9 out of 10 times, I would not buy that game.
You wouldn't buy Milo and Otis, the beat 'em up?
To be honest, I would buy the shit out of that.
I was going to say, actually, I might. Just because you would either be the cat or the dog, and you'd be beating shit up.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
Actually, that could probably make a lot of sense, because isn't the story like they're like lost in the forest or something?
Yeah.
So it'd be like you're beating up like wolves and bears and shit. And
I mean, it still would be a little ridiculous because it's not really something that goes on in that story. But
I mean,
but yeah.
like they could make it work.
They could make it work. That's...
Okay, if a Milo and Otis based beat 'em up shows up on Kickstarter, I will absolutely fund the shit out of it. You can have that one, internet.
You can take that idea and run with it. I would totally be down for that. Oh, man.
But, yeah, mainly the idea was, if it's going to be an adaptation, it has to be a genre that makes sense. Like, 2001, I see over there.
Yeah.
I could see that as like a point-and-click adventure game. And I think that's another... Actually, now that I think about it, that is another thing that a lot of adaptations kind of get stuck into. It's either beat 'em up or a point-and-click, now that I think about it. Yeah. So there was Walking Dead. That could either be a mindless zombie shooter, which sucked, or a point-and-click adventure game. But the fact that the story and the characters were so good, it's acceptable. It's okay. But yeah.
Oh, speaking of those like newer adventure games, like the Telltale games and stuff, there's a bundle on Humble Bundle right now with them, and I was like, oh, I should get that. And like I was looking at it, and I was like, I should get that, and I was like, let me check my Steam library first.
You already have them all.
I already have all of them. I was like, oh, Tales from the Borderlands. I don't think I have Wolf Among Us yet. And I go into my Steam library, and I had all of them. And I was like, all right, so I'm glad I did that before buying.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been more stuff to give away, but...
it's like the last time there was a major Steam sale. Like, I went to the long list.
Yeah.
And there's, like, an option to, like, under $10, under $5. Like, let's see if there's anything cool for under $5. The first 2.5 pages were already in my Steam library.
It's becoming a problem. I'm like at 430
I want to buy
games.
more games, but I've already bought all these games.
Yeah.
I'm probably not even going to play half of them. I just want to buy them.
It's like, it's on sale. I don't know when I'm going to play it, but it's on sale. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how Steam sales work, man. Like I've mentioned though, like that's why I started my fucking YouTube channel. It gives me an excuse to play through games I have not touched.
Yeah. And
it forces me to do it once a week. And I have found some games that I have loved. Like loved Gunpoint, played all the way through, like recorded my 30 minutes. After I stopped recording, I finished the game, started it over, finished it again for the alternate ending. And then Please Don't Touch Anything. That game was...
That was something. Hell of a thing.
Yeah. I don't know... There are some of the things in that are so cryptic, I don't know how you were supposed to figure them out.
Yeah.
Like
once you figure it out, or like somebody tells you about it, it's like, oh, well now it's fucking obvious.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you have to just do that, and it's like, oh.
Well, like one of the endings, you have to. So there's like the poster, right, with like the instructions, and like a lot of that is clues.
Yeah.
Well, what you have to do is you have to like take the screwdriver to the poster, and the poster slides aside, and there's a clock there. Mm-hmm. And at exactly midnight, like on your computer's time, at exactly midnight, a ticket will pop out of that. And the ticket has like dots and stuff on it, and you're supposed to like enter that into like one of the like number pads or something.
Wow.
Yeah, but how are you supposed to figure? It's so cryptic.
And then there's like bullshit where it's like, okay, this is a thing I have to do. I'm pretty sure I have to do it like this. And then I do it like that, and it's like, no, that didn't do anything. And then I look it up in a guide, and it's like, yeah, do that thing you did. And I'm like, the fuck? That's exactly what I did. Like, step by step what I did. And now it works. Was step one look at a guide to find this out first?
But how did the people who wrote the guide figure it out? That's what
the
gets
developer
to me,
wrote
man.
the guide. I don't fucking know, but... Yeah, it was like, there's like one where you have to like do Morse code and like zeros and ones, and I'm like, okay, so I have to enter that word. I did that, and it's like, no. It's like, oh, I guess I didn't do it right. And
Yeah.
I'll come back to that later, and then I looked up a guide, and it's like, yeah, enter this word in Morse code. I'm like, I fucking did that the first time.
There's another one where like a little like 3-key piano pops out the side,
and you have to enter the
play
background music. I'm like,
I would not have
I was
gotten
just
that.
looking through the guide at that point, and like, what? How the you have to actually listen to the notes that are playing in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's...
What the fuck?
It's totally a game worth playing, and it's fun to like try and figure out.
I
don't
even know
stuff.
how to read music and correspond notes. I'm like,
yeah.
God. There's a puzzle.
Some of the endings are a little much.
There's a puzzle in Undertale that's like that too, and I just like, nope, I'm not going to learn how to read music to solve one puzzle. Show me a guide.
That's fair.
Yeah. I don't think it even did anything either. It was just like an Easter egg or something, but yeah. It was kind of funny. I won't spoil it if you haven't gotten to it already.
I have not. It does not sound familiar.
Was there a statue playing music when you put the umbrella on it? Did you go through an area where you had an umbrella?
Yes.
Okay, so you're probably past it already.
Probably.
Yeah, there's like
I think so.
Like it's either before or immediately after the part where you have the umbrella, but there's a statue that's like just sitting there off to the side of the road, and it's getting rained on.
Yeah.
And there's like some kind of prompt that you have to do something with it. You just put the umbrella on top, and then it starts playing a little tune. And then there's like a room nearby with a piano in it, and you have to like play that tune on the piano, and it opens like a secret door.
Huh.
And it's like, that's kind of neat.
Interesting.
But yeah,
I might be past
oh, actually, it does do something for you, because there's an item you get from it that's really useful. So like, you go into the room that you unlock, and there's like an orb there, and it's like, it's a legendary artifact, and you try to pick it up, and it says, you are carrying too many dogs. And if you look in your inventory, suddenly, like, even if your inventory is empty, there'll be an item that says annoying dog. And if you try to get rid of it, the dog grabs the ball and runs away with it. It's just like a stupid little thing, but it leaves an item behind called dog residue, which sounds kind of gross.
Yeah.
But it's just like a piece of garbage or something that the dog was like chewing on or something. And if you use it, it fills your inventory with dog residue. And some of it, I forget like if you use one of them, it'll refill your inventory with dog residue. But sometimes it has a chance of spawning dog salad, which is a healing item. Which, if you're doing a pacifist run, it's really helpful because it's like, it's a random amount of health, but if you already have like a maximum of like 20 health, chances are more often than not it's going to fully heal you.
Yeah.
So you can keep using it to spawn more, and just keep using it to spawn more until you have an entire inventory of dog salad. And that'll get you...
That's fair.
When you have such a low max health, it's pretty much more effective than buying any other healing items.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's good to know about.
It's pretty neat. Like, it got me through the final boss. Mostly.
I think I'm past it. I'm not 100% sure, honestly. But, like, that was recent for me, having the umbrella. So.
Yeah, it's like just before... I think it's just before you get to Hotland.
Hotland?
It's like a volcano town kind of place.
Yet, so.
Okay, I think it's on that path between like those two areas.
Interesting. Well, I guess I'll see next time I play. Whenever I get around to it again. But yeah. One day.
One day. I think we're done.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm just watching
an hour 48,
an hour 50 almost. Yeah.
Wow.
Even
let's go another 10 minutes and make it 2 hours.
No! Oh.
Let's talk about Borderlands some more.
God.
Let's repeat literally everything.
Borderlands.
Overwatch.
Overwatch. I've watched gameplay of it. Looks fun.
The trailers were pretty cool. I didn't know anything about the game until I saw the trailers, and I'm like, oh, that sounds cool.
I did not watch any of the trailers.
Yeah. I actually didn't know literally anything about the game until like articles started popping up about like that one character's like victory pose.
Oh yeah.
And everybody was like raising such a shitstorm about it. I'm like, fucking seriously? First of all, there are infinitely more things to get angry about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was... The fact that everybody was getting so pissed off about it was what raised awareness to me about the game to begin with. It's like, yeah, good job backfiring on that shit. But
That's
yeah, I watched some of the trailers and I'm like, I like that character now. Like, if I get the game, I would play as that character and probably nobody else.
That's fair.
And not just because of the like posing controversy, but because from what I've seen in the trailer, she actually looks like a cool character. She has like time manipulation, like warp beat powers or something.
Yeah, I remember, like, there was a few streams that I saw of it. Like, I watched some at work and stuff. And that character was, like, super OP for a while. I'm sure she's been rebalanced now. But, like, I forget what ability it was, but there was some ability she had that just, like, made her, like, a complete pain in the ass. But, yeah. It does look like a cool game.
Turns out I like characters with time manipulation powers now that I think about it.
Understandable. They're usually cool characters.
Marquis in Battleborn with his like stopwatch or his pocket watch, and Tracer in Overwatch. She has like, I haven't actually seen any gameplay of her. All I know is what I've seen from the like 3 trailers I've watched, and it looks cool. Like if they made a movie, I would probably watch it.
That's fair. That's actually how I feel about League of Legends a lot lately, because I don't really play much League anymore. But, like, I still think the characters are really interesting, and, like, what they do with them are interesting.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to play the game just because of the characters, not really for the gameplay.
That's the feeling I got about Overwatch. Like, I'm sticking with Battleborn, because, actually, now I've already pre-ordered it anyway, and I don't really care about Overwatch anyway, but
yeah,
that's just a thing that Blizzard does really well. Is, for one thing, they write really good story. Like, I would want to play World of Warcraft just to know where the story went after Warcraft 3, because that was the last Warcraft story that we had until World of Warcraft came out and actually continued the story on. But Blizzard has also always been really, really good with like their animations. Like, if you can watch the cinematics from Warcraft 3, and it's still some of the best CG work I've seen in a video game cutscene to date. Like, probably the cinematics in Halo 4, I would say, were probably the next step up from what I would judge Blizzard's quality by. Like until Halo 4 came out, I would have considered Warcraft 3 to have the best cinematics. And then Halo 4 is like, yeah, those look even better. Like, say what you will about the game, but it had really good animations.
I still want to go back and play it at some point. Just for, like, the fact of, you know, playing, like, every other Halo.
Yeah.
But
I think, is 5 out yet, or was it just the multiplayer thing?
It's out. The thing that sucks about 5 is there's no local, like, 2-player. You can only play, like, you can only play co-op or, like, matchmaking and stuff online. Like, there's no local multiplayer at all.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
But
that kind of killed it for me. Like, the things they changed about the gameplay and stuff, like, there's, like, little things they change and, like, some of the new weapons and stuff, like, feels good. But, oh, God. That just, like, that kills it.
Yeah, that's...
Otherwise, like, I would have loved to, like, play it, at the
I
don't
even know anything about the story, now that I think about it. Like...
something Master Chief running after Cortana or something.
Yeah, like there's like nothing. It's like always the multiplayer that's ended up being the focus, and I don't like that because I liked the story in the Halo games. Yeah, and now they're just kind of, for one thing, they're drawing it out more than I feel like it needed to be drawn out. Like, Halo 4 was unnecessary to begin with.
Yeah. Halo 3, finish the fight. Halo 4,
hey, look, another
more
fight.
fighting.
Hey, look, more fights. I mean, you finished that fight, here's another fight for you, but...
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they continued the story in a reasonable way, but... It's not like, oh, suddenly the Flood are back, and it's like, oh, fight the Flood more. It's like, no, they actually didn't do that, which was nice, but they still tied it in. Like, the fact that the Flood exists, it's not like, oh yeah, they're over and done with. The way the Forerunners dealt with them is actually kind of what's causing the problem in 4. Because, yeah, but... I don't know. It's just the... I don't feel like it added enough to be as interesting as, like, 2 or 3 was.
Yeah, it didn't add enough to, like, really expand the world in a decent enough way.
You get to fly a pelican.
Yay.
Finally. That's, like, the biggest thing, is you get to fly a pelican for the first time.
Yeah. But,
yeah. Anyway. This has been SpellCast, the Gaming Wizards podcast. It's
nice
over.
2-hour one, pretty much.
Did we actually...
We're like 4 minutes off.
We damn near made an actual 2-hour SpellCast.
But I think that's a good place to...
Oh, shit. Yeah. We're done here. See you next week. Or maybe not.
Hopefully.